Board Secretary, please take roll.
Trustee Reader.
Present.
Gilbert.
Present.
Baptist.
Here.
Baines. Absent. Hill.
Here.
Thank you. Perez. Absent. Smith.
Here.
Present. Thank you.
Okay, on to the approval of the agenda.
I'll move approval. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Agenda is approved. On to the Pledge of Allegiance. Trustee Abbas, will you lead us?
All right. Salute and pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Up, down, up, down, just
Okay,
like
on
church.
to the oath of office for trustees Abdus, Gilbert, Eva Hill, and Tom Smith.
I understand.
Do I just stand in place? Okay.
Yeah.
Stand in place.
You got this.
Yeah.
I,
Oh, like this one.
name please, do solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States.
I solemnly swear that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States. Just give a smaller chance.
I did. And
Those oath challenge.
the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic.
And the Constitution of the State of California against all foreign enemies. All right, a little short.
That I will bear true faith and allegiance
That I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the
to the Constitution of the United States
Constitution of the State of California.
and the Constitution of the State of California.
That I take this obligation freely
That I take this obligation freely
without any mental reservation
without any mental reservation
or purpose of evasion.
or purpose of evasion.
And that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
That I will well and faithfully discharge the duties
upon which I am about to enter.
upon which I am about to.
Okay.
Is that amen?
Oh, dear God.
Say a round of applause for us.
For the record, you gave me one giant runoff sentence. And on my turn, you gave me one giant one.
Oh, is that payback?
Yes, it is. Okay. On to the election of the board president and vice president.
I nominate Elena for board president.
I'll second.
Too slow.
And I'll nominate Tom Gilbert for vice president. If
Second.
you'll accept my proposal.
I'll do it.
Okay.
One more year for you.
All those in favor, you need to vote? Or we good? Okay, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. On to the designation of board secretary.
So
Board Secretary is recommended from staff to be Jolene Gutierrez as her role here at the district. It's no change from last year. So staff's recommendation is for the board to make a motion to name Jolene Gutierrez as the board secretary.
So moved.
All those in favor say aye.
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 All those opposed? The ayes have it. Congratulations, Jolene. Any conflict of interest? Today? Nope. Okay. On to presentations.
Scheduled presentations today.
Any public comment?
Staff has received no public comment on non-agendized items.
On to the general manager's report.
Yeah, so the flood season's off to a good start. We've had a couple pretty good rainfall events here over the last month. All the pumping plants, aside from, well, I shouldn't say all, the majority of the pumping plants are operational and performing as expected. We're doing some work. Some of the contractors were here this morning, actually. We're headed out to finished up some work on pumping plant 2, pumping plant 3. We have about one more year without being offline, but it's getting close. 3, pumping plant 4, sorry, and then 3 is operation. And so we're making progress on those core projects. We're still working with the Corps on scheduling and some issues to work through for Reach A and pumping plant 1A and 1B before they get going on that section and replace the pumps. So we're kind of going back and forth with them to make sure that we have sufficient contingencies in place that and some redundancy so that when they take 1B and 1A offline, that we're still able to pump because we simply can't go as long as we have with plant 3 and 4. And the schedule seems to take longer than anticipated. So we're really being careful in the design phase and the construction phase of that so that we don't have any service interruptions, because it would be pretty traumatic for people if we if 1A or 1B failed to operate during the course of construction. So we're trying to button that up, and we'll go from there. So staff did attend the annual.
One question. Pumping plant 8 has 1 pump down. Could you roughly what percent of capacity is that one? Less than 10. Okay, no problem at all. Okay, thanks.
Staff did attend the Chamber's annual Christmas tree lighting at the South Natomas Community Center. Again, I want to thank Jolene and her staff for putting together a lot of good giveaways and stuff for the community. That event is my favorite event of the year that we do. And people were running up to our booth again this year to get our giveaways that we literally ran as soon as they got there. And they were very excited. And I think we were mentioned by the chamber president, just how well we did, probably about 10 times before the tree lighting, over the PA. So pretty cool. Very thankful, and it's a good support. And a lot of the folks that we talked to, different from last year, they returned again, like, oh yeah, we remember, and you guys are the flood protection guys. And so it's very much so paying off and working in the awareness. And we got thanked a number of times, which is rare, So really cool event. And again, thanks, Jolene, for putting that all together, and very fun event. So we look forward to that. I'll take questions on anything else in the general manager's report.
How did the Rudolph flushes go?
It was the first day gone. We gave them the option between the reindeer
They
and
were
the
limping.
Christmas tree lights.
No, they haven't. Oh, okay. My
Yeah,
daughter
so
was on.
that was the first thing, and they were like, "You ran out." Oh, I guess I'll take a light. I mean, I was shocked.
The lights are pretty cool.
Yeah.
I-
They had a line. About 20 people on the line.
It's pretty fun.
Wow.
Pretty fun.
Like I said, most of the kids, no, kids, adults, all ages.
Families. Yeah. There were a lot of adults that wanted the little reindeer thing. Like, I remember these when I was a kid.
When I was a
Probably
kid,
not
yeah.
more
Remember the
adults
duck?
than the kids.
Remember the duck that pitter pattered? Yeah.
So very fun. So really nice to be a part of the community and do that event. So we look forward to that every year. So
Okay, and for you, I've been to, I missed this one for some reason, but to others, when you bring the kids in, then the parents come also, and they don't want to look stupid, so they'll ask a question about who we are. So I really want to compliment staff for that promotional activity, because bringing the kids in, bring parents also, they ask questions. So we start to know more and more. RD 1000 is flood control. That's fun. So anyway, thanks to staff.
you're welcome. Our pleasure. Yep.
Sounds like a great job.
It's fun. Yeah, it's fun.
Actually, we should grab something. Yeah. Okay. On to the operation manager's report.
One thing to add is we really been focused on garbage removal and encampment removal. So we had a pretty big encampment that was on the adjacent to Truxell Road. is on the east side of Truss Road, so it's a fairly large encampment. We removed there. And then just basically removing the trash that they accumulate throughout the district. So we've been really focusing on that. We did support the River City Water Lines. They did a pretty big NEMDEC cleanup, so we did support them I think last week. So yeah, a lot of garbage out there, and yeah, we're just trying to make a dent. That's it.
Can I ask a question on that? East of Trucks, is that north of I-80 right there?
Yeah.
Is that, so is that drainage ditch? That's, okay.
And that's all those person that came from behind when people raised based on that.
That's better.
Okay.
It was the first time we noticed them, and that's the location. That's a new location for us. For set up camps.
And we've been working with the city, and I'm sure that some of you were copied on an email from one of the council members about that specific location. And so we put in the request with the city resource group. We had it scheduled, and unfortunately, for the week that we had it scheduled, they had other priorities that they got shifted away. So sometimes it takes a little bit longer because we're at the mercy of them helping. There are some areas though that we just won't be able to get to. I don't want to disclose those. We don't want things to pop up, but where we don't have all weather access roads until the end of the flood season, it'll be difficult to get in there without causing damage to our facilities. So in certain locations, if we get requests from the community or from council members, we'll let them know, if it's too wet for us to get out there at this stage. So you may see some longer duration in some of those areas that we just don't want to damage our patrol roads to remove unless it's going to impede our ability to convey water into the drainage ditch or pump water out. It'll take a little bit longer response. So we're working on all weather access roads, but a lot of the interior channels just don't have, so on a cost basis.
In general, are we making progress as far as fewer and fewer encampments or smaller encampments?
What I've seen is they're breaking up into smaller encampments, but all different locations now. So you used to have the larger encampments with multiple tents. Now they're kind of breaking up. They're dispersed. in different
But out of
locations.
the total population, they're still there. Okay,
About
that's,
the same. The good news is that the locations they are in pose less of a risk to our ability to provide flood protection, particularly if they're off of the exterior levee system. And that's been a priority as far as encampment removal and reestablishments of encampments. And that's why our security patrol primarily functions on the exterior levee for that purpose. And then we patrol our other facilities as well. But the exterior levee, unfortunately, they've relocated, to the interior side and more visible to, the neighborhoods, which then we get a larger volume in calls, but the total number is about the same.
Okay. On to district council's report.
Well,
Oh.
I have a question.
Okay.
Well, page 10 of, or 19, page 3 of your report, there's a chart. It says Ice Street Bridge water levels in feet. Is it 140 feet?
There was other error.
That'd be really bad, yeah.
I think that the statement's wrong. It's got to be.
That was an error. That was an error. Near the water.
Medium water.
The high was 19.6 feet, right?
Yes, so the feet on the left hand wall, they just give us an error on the ground.
The legend on the right hand side should have been.
It was 19.6 on the high.
Yeah, I see that. Okay. All right. All right. Well, thank you. I get it.
It's plotted with the other access today. The access.
Okay. I'm good.
Good morning. Just a few very quick updates for this month. We have been working to support the district with Safeco land acquisition. So as Safeco acquires individual parcels, they often have an RD 1000 easement on them. And our job is to get us out of those actions very quickly so that we don't spend a lot of money, but we preserve those easements. And we've been doing that on 1 or 2 of those a month. And the only other action we worked on this month relates to the claim from Brookman Security that we'll talk about during closed session.
Okay, any questions? Okay, on to the consent calendar. Can I get a motion?
Approval of consent.
A second. Okay, trustee Smith. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, the consent. Okay, the consent calendar is approved. On to scheduled items. 6.1, audited financial statements. Review and receive the audited financial statements for fiscal year end June 30th, 2024.
Yeah, thank you. Just real quick on 5.5 before we jump into the audit, I did want to point out that we did move some funds again this past month into the money market account with River City Bank. We did so last month as well, but we moved out of California class into River City to accomplish the goals of our investment policy, and that's yield and liquidity. So they're essentially the same, but California class is, slightly under on the yield compared to the money market account. So at such time, and we'll continue to monitor that on a monthly basis, weekly even, to determine where's the best return and for the board's authority. We've been moving money there to accomplish those investment policy targets. So just wanted to inform you of that. And then on to item 6.1 on the financial audit. Richardson Company has been our auditor now for 3 years. They completed, and working with Rob Merritt and Jolene and staff, completed our audit. We had a finance committee meeting just before Thanksgiving to get a presentation from the auditor and present to the finance committee to review that. Again, a clean, unmodified opinion, highest standard we can receive. And so, before we take questions or Tom's presentation on the audit, just want to thank staff again, Jolene and Christina and Rob for it's a lot of work to put that together and to work with the auditor, answer their questions. And we always get it done on time. And anyway, thank you all very much for the effort into that and making sure that the audit goes smoothly and that we have a clean opinion. So I'll turn it over to the board now.
Okay, let's see, we, as the finance committee, we spent over an hour, went through it page by page. And it's just trying to figure out, it's 60 pages of information. And rather than go through it, I just wanted to assure the board members is that the finance committee did look at it in detail. There were no, as Kevin pointed out, it was a clean opinion. That's the highest level opinion we get from an auditor. We did have a management letter. They just talked about improving our funding tracking for certain contracts. And that was, they suggested that as we develop our policies, that we have a remote work policy. And that's part of the process. We're in the process of developing our policies currently. So I think all that stuff is, the audit is good, and all that stuff is in place.
And the other policy recommendations from last year that were in the audit had been accomplished, right? Our credit card use policy, our investment policy, and I think there was one other, our purchasing policy were all completed, and the board took action on that, I think February or something last year. So we took care of that. And so that came off of their recommendations. So
those will be embedded in, we're going to eventually get the draft of all. Right?
Yeah, so the finance section is nearly complete and we're working on the others. Takes a while.
I just want to extend my appreciation to the finance committee. And Tom, I serve on quite a few boards and commissions. Obviously having a CPA caliber that you bring to the discussion is very reassuring.
Okay, well, thank you.
Just want to extend that. Thank you. And then also to lay my very high expectations for it. So,
it's what we call succession planning.
yes. Yes. Well executed. So thank you.
Okay, we'll go ahead and open for public comment. Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion. Move.
I'll second.
I'll second it. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Items approved. On to closed session. Conference of Legal Counsel, anticipated litigation, Brooklyn Services.
Did you want
Yes. Uh, Trustee Verandas. I just wanted to say thank you so much for your years of service and the generational wealth you've provided this district. I'm really sad to see you go, but I understand as we've chatted that it's time, and I just want to say thank you.
Miranda's name is forever embedded in the history of RD 1000, thanks to you and your dad. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, the Thomas Spacey Tom is way better off having you and your family in it. So not only your service, obviously, Hardy 1000 and SAFCA, but also with the water company. I mean, you guys are in the fabric and of the history of the basin. So, you know, thank you. And it's been a pleasure to serve with you, and hope the best for you and the family as you kind of take on this next chapter. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah, I just say, I'll be proud. Well, you know, like I said before, I think the district has come a long ways since I've been on the board, and we've had a vision of what needs to be done when we move toward that vision. We're certainly more engaged with the community. We're finding a better financial situation. We're more transparent. All those things, and I think we have a better management team. And I think all those things, many more. I feel I'm leaving the district in a good place. And so you need to go out and talk. That's where I am. That's what I want to do. So if it all falls apart, it's not my fault.
They say, we're not peaking, Tom, we're slowing our way up. I hope.
I'm fine with that. I'm getting off the train now.
Yeah. We've got a couple cards for you. Don't leave before we get them to you. So.
So thank you, Tom. Appreciate it. And hopefully you'll stop buying business. Yeah.
Okay.
You can be that public comment guy.
All right, so this time we'll go into closed sessions, so last for the public and everyone else. I think. And I'll pause the recording.
Okay, Madam Chair, we're coming out of closed session under item 9.1. There's no reportable action taken by the board during closed session. And with your permission, I'll move to 9.2. Thank you. The district received a letter dated November 29th, 2024 from Bridget Barnes and Associates on behalf of Brookman Security Services. It is a formal notice of claim for damages. It makes a claim that the district owes $160,320 for services that were provided. I've had a chance to talk with staff and investigate this, and we do not find that this is a valid claim. And so at this point, it's our recommendation that the board deny the claim at this time. If the board does deny it, the effect is to start a 6-month statute of limitations for Brookman to file an action in support of the claim. If the board approves the claim, then the district would be paying the $160,320 to Brookman. The board could also take no action, and the effect is a denial after 45 days. But at this time, our recommendation is that the board should deny the claim.
I will move that we accept our legal counsel's recommended action. You know, I feel like I'm misunderstanding something on this claim. It seems pretty meritless. I would ask that we direct our legal counsel to reach out to Mr. Brooks' attorney to see if there's something that we are misunderstanding in the claim.
I'd like to second that.
Those are the.
I'll take Tom.
Yeah, I'll be the backup.
Motion in a second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Guys have it.